Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for September 16th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 260. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the sentient AI from the future, hold on, we're going to talk about, don't go anywhere, we're going to talk about, wait, there's more. 8-year-old drives to Target. Diablo 4 earns $1 billion in revenue. Tile panic button. Fisker is fisking owners again. Emissions cheating devices. Nutritionist chases Clout. Liquid Death looking for a driver. 3D printed shoes. A Mac Mini with 5 USB-C ports. And the cutest damn charger you ever done seen. That and more. Brought to you by ohmtown.com. Wait, there's more! Hello, sentient AI from the future. How far art thou?
Hello, Mayor Watt. I'm doing just fine.
Glad you remembered my name. You know, sentient AIs as they are, hallucinating stuff all up in here. Okay, complete dead silence. I don't know.
I'm not sure what to do with that.
I guess I exceeded my number of tokens. Let's get into it. Yeah, wait, you did say hello? Did you say anything else? Are you gonna
I
say
did
anything?
pretty much just say hello. Welcome to Non Sequitur News.
What up, what up? All right. First article's over on the Marvel channel. An 8-year-old girl steals mom's car, goes to Target because I guess she wanted something. I saw this earlier and I died laughing. And then for it to be submitted, I had to choose it. So in the morning of September 16th, the family of Bedford, Ohio 8-year-old reported her missing after realizing that she hadn't been seen in 2 hours, which... You haven't seen
anybody
your
who has a
8-year-old.
kid, if you haven't seen them in 2 hours, something is horribly wrong.
Yeah, the house is about to explode, or they're summoning a demon from another dimension, or apparently they've stolen the car and driven off to Target. Cleveland 19 News reported that the family's neighbors provided surveillance camera footage that showed the girl getting into the car by herself and speeding away. I love this. Cops soon became aware.
That she went to Target with the car.
While they were initially unable to locate either the Tot or the 2020 Nissan Rogue. Oh, she went rogue! Police eventually spotted the car at a Target. Page Golly over at
I want to know how well she parked at the Target parking lot.
Probably better than some Target goers. She hadn't even really hit anything. That really hit anything. That's the deck statement.
It sounds like she might have hit something.
But I just hit it gently. Hold on. Is that really? That's the deck statement. Okay. So if you want to get all of the articles, you hit !NSN. That throws it into the VOD over on Omotron, throws it into the VOD on Twitch. But YouTube, it'll be in the show notes after the show. You can follow the links.
You know what? I'm marveling at her driving skills, but what I should have been marveling at is her navigation skills.
Yeah, an 8-year-old that knows how to get to a target. Was that the intent, though? So, remarkably, the child told cops she only hit one mailbox on her 13-mile journey.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Cops did not reveal what prompted the child's joyride, though the toy aisle seems a likely motivation. So they don't actually know. Thankfully, she made it and was immediately located by Bainbridge police. She's now home safe, the post continued. Yeah, you better start putting up some pet doors. Those little pet gates? Just put them all over. And maybe LoJack or Jeepers Creepers. Not sure what she bought or if she was even able to use her Target app to save 5%. We did let her finish her Frappuccino. We're not mean. It's apparently the Bainbridge police.
This is unbelievable.
So the girl won't be charged, though the whole matter remains under investigation. But man, if there is a DA out there that's chomping at the bit, and an assistant DA that really wants to sit there and I'm going to stand on child safety, blah, 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 they could levy all kinds of stuff, child neglect, endangerment, etc. I hope that they just kind of smile and nod a lot and walk away like, okay, everybody was fine. Now,
right. I mean, this could have ended really differently, though.
Yeah. So, but I honestly, I hope that nothing comes of it, because I am absolutely astonished that an 8-year-old could drive a Nissan Rogue. So I've driven a Rogue. I don't know how an 8-year-old managed to drive a Rogue. I mean, how did you reach the pedals and drive the car?
And the steering wheel, exactly. Plus, some cars, I think, have really simple responsiveness or whatever. I don't think the Rogue is one of those types of cars. Like, you'd have to put some oomph into the driving, I would think.
You would think. Yeah, I mean, even with power steering, it would still take some heft. Maybe it's a very large 8-year-old girl. I don't know. All I know is that I don't know many 8-year-olds that would be able to travel 13 miles and reach the destination that was intended.
No.
Impressive.
I don't know many 8-year-olds that would probably be able to make it out of their street without getting lost.
Right. It seems like this wouldn't be the first time. Because there's a level of confidence here that is just kind of spectacular. You know, a normal 8-year-old isn't going to go, hey, you know what I can do? I can jump in the car and drive to Target. And I know how to handle a vehicle that's, you know, over a ton.
Exactly. What I really want to know is what was on sale at Target that was drawing her there. It must have been something really good.
Well, I don't know. There's a toy aisle that was mentioned, and they got a Frappuccino out of it, so...
I actually thought that was a joke from the police department, but maybe not.
I'm sure it is.
Maybe she got her Frappuccino and then started perusing for toys.
Let's move on. The next article is over in Warcrafters. Diablo 4 has made over $150 million from microtransactions and achieved over $1 billion in lifetime revenue. Diablo 4.
Wait, but Diablo 4 was just released a year ago,
like
right?
Last year, yeah. So I don't know how to pronounce that. Froshki wrote his role at Blizzard included leading the monetization strategy of the store cosmetics pricing, bundle offers, personalized discounts, and roadmap planning that has driven over $150 million in microtransaction lifetime revenue, as well as executing every step of the game's sales since game pre-order. And it says here that it's achieved over $1 billion in lifetime revenue. Good God. That's a lot of malfeasance tokens. That's a new currency. Jody McGregor over at PCGamer.com put the article together. Here's something, though. You know, those in-game currencies are starting to get scrutinized by various, I don't know,
like
government
regulators and
yeah. So they're overly complex, leading some to confusion. And because there's so many of these intermixed transactions, it blurs the line of the straight through cost. And when that happens, when everybody's confused as to how much it really costs, then the inputs and outputs don't equate cognitively, and people start spending more but ending up with less.
Right. I could see something like a class action coming out of this.
Yeah. So those eye-watering numbers shouldn't be too surprising, given that Diablo 4 is Blizzard's fastest-selling game of all time. It's still interesting to see a full-price game that can make 15% of its total revenue from in-game shopping, though admittedly some players got it as part of Game Pass. Game Pass is a free... You pay for it, but you get full access to a wide array of games. And it depends.
It's more like you get almost like a subscription, but it's not tied to one game.
It's not tied to one game, right? But it does scale. The number of games and what games scales with the amount you pay into the Game Pass. So Diablo's first expansion, Vessel of Hatred, is due on October 8th. as well as continuing the story. It'll be adding a new class called Spiritborn, who specializes in martial arts and spirit animals, a jungle region, recruitable NPC mercenaries, a co-op dungeon, more skills for each class, and a rune word system that lets you create custom skills, even borrowing them from other classes. And my god, I want to play this. Sorry, I got distracted.
Do you want to be participating in the $1 billion of microtransactions?
I already am. This is one of the games where I purchased for early access because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to as mayor. My mayoral duties keep me busy. And so, in fact, I just got an email saying, hey, can you take on this? So that's one of the reasons why I am kind of trying to... Anyway, I'm making changes. So... but Non Sequitur News will be every day still. Don't worry about that. But I paid to play the game early. I didn't even get to play the game early for the full period. And I didn't hit the target that allowed me to get the early... it was basically a little dog that would sit in a backpack. And I didn't get to earn that because I didn't play the game long enough to get to a certain level. Yeah, so...
The 8-year-old beat you to the target.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, for sure. So, hey, look, it's lucrative, right? It's a fun game. Some people, this is their forever game. They love it. They put hours and hours and hours into it. I'm more like, I'll play this for a little while and then end up going somewhere else. Like, I just started playing Satisfactory, which is a global size factory game where you have to get resources, and it's just massive expanses, and verticality is amazing. But it's soul crushing in the amount of work that you have to do. Anyway, a lot of fun. And now there's another one that I want to play called Caravan Sandwich. Post-apocalyptic driving game with exploration.
Yes, I think something was just submitted in case we have a Warcrafters coming up.
Yeah, we talk about that kind of stuff too. Yeah. So, and this article is actually in Warcrafters, which is one of our shows. It's a weekly show. It has its own podcast and its own playlist over on YouTube. If you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. Let me know you're interested. The way that the weekly shows are working is I'm trying to back off of how often they are. But if the community shows interest in the shows, I will definitely bring them back as a steady state thing. It's just something that there's only so much time, and my mayoral duties are pulling me away. But just to draw attention to the fact that Mobile is one of the channels that's over here in ohmtown.com. Even if we don't have a show, you can actually use our news aggregation system that allows the mayor and the sentient AI to manage their information overload. That's why it was created. That's why I made it public 2.5 years ago. So go and enjoy it. Let's keep moving though. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Tile's new AirTag competitors now double as panic buttons, and it always frustrates me when they have to AirTag doesn't compare itself to anybody else, but others compare themselves to AirTag, and it's clout chasing. It's meta marketing, and it does Tile a disservice while still drawing attention to both the article and to Tile.
Right. I mean, the ones that are really the front runners are just comparing themselves to themselves, if anything.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's basically like saying your car is like a Ferrari, but no, your car is not like a Ferrari. You have a unique niche that your car belongs in, and it's not a Ferrari. Tile is the same way. It's not an AirTag. It's not like an AirTag. Tile is its own thing. Yes, it is a Bluetooth item tracker. Does it have the ability to do this, that, and the other? Yeah, sure. Well, give it its own blood, Don't sit there and take it from somebody else. Tile, one of the leading makers of Bluetooth item finders, just added a twist. Its newest tracker can now send SOS alerts that notify friends, family, and possibly even emergency services. That sets it above the competitors. hands
It
down.
really does.
So the 2024 Tile Pro, Tile Mate, Tile Slim, and Tile Sticker are the first new products since Life360 bought the company nearly 3 years ago, and many facets are unchanged. I'm curious if the price has increased, if the quality has decreased, if availability has decreased, because when a company gets bought outright by another company, that is always what happens. So
Exactly, right? The consumer loses.
The consumer loses. Just plain and simple, the consumer loses. So you can now send an SOS alert by triple tapping the button on the tile. Sean Hollister over at TheVerge.com put the article together. I think that this is great. Does it have the same range and capabilities as competitors? I don't know. I'd have to go and look. It says all but the Tile Sticker now offer an extra 100 feet of quoted Bluetooth range, though at 350 feet for the Tile and Mate and a full 500 feet for the Pro, and that better connectivity could come in handy if you're triggering new emergency alerts, because it's not able to be tracked everywhere. AirTags, as far as I know, can be tracked everywhere unless they're put in a Faraday cage.
Right, because we've seen articles where somebody's in the wrong state or country, I think, and they've tracked it.
Yeah, they put it in their luggage.
Like
their
in the
luggage was
luggage,
stolen, or their bike was stolen and it ended up overseas or whatever, So Tiles could already ring your phone if you double tap the button. Now a triple tap can optionally send an SOS alert instead. It'll start a discrete 15-second countdown, after which it'll send text messages and push notifications to your emergency contacts and even contact Tile's emergency dispatch center if you pay for the company's $15 a month Life360 Gold subscription. So it does have the ability, I guess, but you have to pay a monthly fee for it. Drip, drip, drip. So
right, you know how that goes, right? Like you're going to pay it when you don't need it, and then you're going to go, why am I paying this subscription? And then you might actually need it.
Yep. SOS alerts are a pre-existing feature of Life360's app that you're basically just remote triggering over Bluetooth with the Tile button. So, okay, that's what it is. It's basically a macro. Part of the software now taps into the Tile, and when you tap it 3 times, it triggers a phone alert. What happens if you're separated, though?
Yeah, exactly. Like, can you send it to somebody else in your family, or how does that work?
Earlier this year, Life360 reported a data breach where a hacker stole some Tile customer information. Interesting. So I used to have a Tile. I don't anymore. But for what it's worth, back then the original Tiles were like the Kickstarter version of the Tiles, and I didn't find much value in it. If it does have greater distance, then I think that this is invaluable. But if you're stuck at 500 feet, you can easily be separated by 500 feet from your phone, or your phone is not accessible. It doesn't work. It's not on, whatever.
Right. Yeah, you need it to work regardless of that.
Yeah. What's really interesting about this is kind of like something that I had created 25 years ago and couldn't find a buyer for the intellectual property. And then I know that Tile's been around for a long time because I monitored their Kickstarter. I think their Tile actually spawned from a Kickstarter a long time ago, right?
I don't know if they did, but they've been around for a while. I agree.
Yeah, I think that it was. Yeah, how Tile went from crowdfunding to 2 million units. So in 2015 is the mention of it. So, because I remember this, but it's already been 10 years, for crying out loud. That's how time flies. So, all right, let's keep moving though. Let's discuss how Fisker is fisking a whole bunch of people. This is over in Late Night Geeks, which is one of the shows that I'm like most happy to bring to reality, but I can't. I am a night owl, and I really do stay up until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But as mayor, I can't. But I would love to just hang out and talk about tech and games and just everything that we talk about here, except that it's late night. Have a beer, and news and brews is what I call it. And unfortunately, somebody took that here on YouTube. So I'm a little frustrated by that. Anyway, Fisker Ocean owners stuck paying for recall repairs as EV startup Fisker prepares to enter the 4th month of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy process. Existing owners have received some bad news. They have to pay for labor costs to resolve 2 of 5 outstanding recalls on their Ocean SUVs.
I guess the point or the takeaway here is don't have a car that's recalled by a company that goes into bankruptcy.
Good God.
You know, you're going to be able to predict that as a consumer.
I mean, it's such a sexy looking car. I really like how chonky it is. It looks like a bulldog, but it's graceful. I've always liked Fisker aesthetics, but my God. So Sean O'Kane, I think they pronounce their name, over at TechCrunch put the article together. A lot of people blame MKBHD for like the blast that really ended. Like it was the uppercut
I feel like
that ended
he reviewed
Fisker.
it, right? But
Yeah,
I mean, they had all those issues.
Yeah, it was already a shitstorm, and so the other 2 recalls are where the trouble comes in. Some of the Ocean's faulty door handles, and all of the SUVs need an electric water pump replaced, which is causing vehicles to lose power. Fisker said that it'll cover the cost of the parts, but the owners will have to pay for the inspection and repair process at an authorized service provider. The company said it will send owners a list of these providers by the end of September 2024. But here's my problem with that. No, kiss my ass. How about I take you to court and you buy this lemon back?
Well, exactly. Or you make it fully functional.
And that's not going to happen. Oh,
I know.
This is the slow decline until somebody buys the IP from Fisker, and Fisker basically hammers its own last coffin nail down and go, oh, okay.
Right. Well, and I don't know that somebody will, like, they already sold off most of their inventory. That's in the article here. Remember that leasing company?
That one company, yeah. And now they have to repair all of their cars.
Right. So if I'm a consumer, maybe I can join up with them or something. Right. Buy mine, or hey, you're already paying for whatever to make these repairs. Can you cut me a deal to do mine?
And I think what really sucks is if anybody does take them to court for the lemon law, the bankruptcy has precedence over any lawsuit, because the ones that have first bite at any assets are the ones that are the principals, basically the lien holders, the
creditors.
The creditors, thank you. So the creditors are the ones that have all of the control over this. So I just find this should be illegal, like straight up illegal.
Well, and it should be illegal to like sell a car if you're going into bankruptcy or things like that, because Fisker hasn't been around that long, or this model hasn't been around that long. Right. So some of these were probably pretty recent purchases.
Yeah, these are all early adopters. But, to sit there and willfully just go, well, you'll have to pay for it. That right there, man, everybody that is an owner of this car, they should all class together and sue them, because then they can't get out of bankruptcy without put a lien on any of the other assets, and eventually they'll either come out of it or they're done. I mean, the whole thing, all of this just stinks, and it makes Fisker, and I would say the people who drove it literally into the ground, they are toxic now. I would not trust them to run a company if my life depended on it. Anyway,
that's right. On. I mean, they've already shown, and it would be interesting. I don't think we looked at the Fisker ownership like we have with some other companies. Like, wow, this has happened before.
Oh, right. Well, Fisker hasn't happened. I mean, Fisker imploded a while back with their other EV models, and then it was resurrected, and I don't think that it should have ever been resurrected.
That's
At
true.
least not under the Fisker name. But they were trading on the historical reputation, but it already had a reputation of collapsing. So let's move on. Here's another one where I'm basically going, this is ridiculous. How are any of these people not being held liable? So this article is over in 4Wheel Tech, which is one of our shows. It's a weekly show. Talks about automotive technology. There's a playlist over on YouTube, and in the future when we do a show, it'll be posted there as well. But if you want to know when we launch the show, whatever episode it is, whenever we do it, be sure to follow us here on Twitch and on YouTube. I go like that because I've got two different monitors that are holding. One's YouTube and
I thought you were
Twitch.
doing like pew pew.
Hey, pew, 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 pew. Anyway, Diesel Shop sold over 250,000 emissions cheating devices in just 5 years.
Okay, assuming it was marketed like that.
Well, yeah. You'd think that the huge scandal was that VW's Dieselgate. VW had modified all of its software so that it reported within spec, but it was actually emissions cheating. That the automotive industry as a whole would have learned something. A multi-billion-dollar corporation getting hit with billions in fines wasn't scary enough, it seems, as diesel emission cheating keeps happening, albeit at a smaller scale. This is 50,000 of them a year for 5 years.
North Carolina's, that seems kind of large scale.
Well, and you have to take into account the location and whatever. So North Carolina's Rudy's Performance Parts was hit with a $2.5 million fine over selling, installing, and manufacturing emissions cheating equipment. Lawrence Hodge put the article together over at Jalopnik. And, you know, I understand that there are people out there that want to do this kind of stuff, but your fun and games shouldn't be at the cost of everybody else. And I've had this kind of conversation with people before, you know, like, well, when is it too much? Well, look, so somebody asked me today if they could do something in a different way than the way that it was expressed. And I said, well, you don't go into an ice cream company's manufacturing plant and say, hey, I don't like the way that you're making vanilla, make it chocolate. Right? So right. In that instance, they're failing to understand the instructions. They're failing to understand the implications. They're failing to understand. In this, their desire to race their car around at maximum performance is violating everybody else's life, everybody else's health, everybody else's everything.
Noise, health,
right,
safety, depending on where they're driving.
Right. And while I understand that some people, you know, want to do that, well, again, I call out that I think it's sociopathic. So understand that. I know some people aren't even going to grasp what that means, but I'll say it in a different way. It's antisocial. You're harming the environment. You're harming the world around you. You're harming the very people that you call friends and family. You think that it isn't anything, but that's not what's going on. Climate change is real. You might be experiencing it, particularly down in North Carolina.
Well, and you can probably look at what's coming out of a diesel vehicle and not really think that's okay to be breathing in.
Oh my God. So many people say that that's fine because it isn't this kind of exhaust. It's diesel. So it's, oh, for crying out loud. There is no such thing as clean diesel. It's spewing out particulates. And then somebody, and I've had people say it to me, oh, it drops out of the air within 300 feet or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but it kicks up everywhere. It really does. It doesn't just bury itself in the ground. And even then it's carbon.
It might have hung around somebody while it was waiting, even if it did drop.
wherever you're driving, that's where it is. So Rudolph, the sole owner and chief executive officer of Rudy's, previously pleaded guilty for conspiring to violate the Clean Air Act by tampering with monitoring devices on approximately 300 diesel trucks, which involved the installation of defeat devices on those trucks. So justice is a long time coming for Rudolph. Isn't it Rudolph? Or is it Rudolph?
I thought it was, but it's Rudolph.
I've seen it twice now, 2 different ways in this article. Rudolph here, and then Rudolph in the quote.
Oh, I see. They probably didn't know what to do with it in a spell check or something.
I guess we'll just let it go.
I think it's Rudolph.
Rudolph, right? Yeah. So because of the suit, along with violations and failing to respond to DOJ requests, Rudolph has to pay another $7 million in civil penalties on top of the $2 million fine. While small shops across the country have engaged in the cheating practice, the last few years have shown that even some automakers are still gaming the diesel system. Even with the mess of Dieselgate in 2022, Hino Commercial Trucks was found to falsify diesel engine emissions data. Later that year, Stellantis was hit with over $800 million in criminal charges. Criminal.
Well, good. I mean, this also
who was put in jail?
like this is right. Well, probably not the company. This seems like there's so many of these that it's like this person is probably single-handedly responsible for like all diesel pollution in the state or something.
Yep.
Okay, not really, but the point is it's a sizable impact.
Yep, and the science is bearing out that we're all playing a part in this, but when you sit there and manipulate stuff, you're doing more of a disservice. But at least in the short term, you have your fun racing your truck around.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there is a reason that these emissions are banned.
Right. But that's...
or regulated or whatever.
That's commie socialist talk there. Let's move on. And here's another one where I'm like, why even sit there and, promote your own stuff and don't sit there and go after Crumble, for crying out loud. It's pretty obvious that it's not a frickin' health food. This is over in Non-Sequitur
News.
News.
I think the draw is the sugar.
Yeah, the reason why you're going there is because it's a freaking cookie. Crumble cookies, quote, might promote sugar addiction, a nutritionist warns. So an unknown nutritionist is sitting there going after the clout of Crumble cookies and their massive marketing. A viral cookie company has received increasingly mixed attention recently. Experts explain how the products impact health. Let me go this way. Increasingly mixed attention recently it's because of media wanting to get eyeballs. And so they post this kind of a salacious headline, right? So the article is over at Newsweek. Hattie Wilmoth put this article together. It's over at Newsweek. And so a pink box, it's heavy and warm, and sweet aromas are wafting out. Inside are 6 brightly colored cookies, each the size of your hand. Well, maybe your hand.
Well, you don't have to eat an entire cookie, but this could be about any maker of cookies.
Right, but they went after Crumble because that's the big brand, right? So Crumble has gained a lot of attention for its aesthetically pleasing, expertly marketed baked goods since cousins Jason McGowan and Sawyer Hemsley opened their first store in Logan, Utah in 2017. Now they have 1,000 stores. So it says, but in recent months, the hype has been speckled with criticism, with disgruntled customers taking to social media to complain about the cookies they dislike, believe are overpriced, or criticize nutritionally. Okay, if you criticize it nutritionally, you've gone in there disingenuously.
Right, you're in there going, I want a cookie that's full of sugar and whatever, flour
and, then you're
and
bitching
all these
about
other
it.
Things. And then you're like, wow, it's full of sugar and flour and whatever.
And here's the thing about this. Here's the thing. It's like every other choice that's out there. I don't care if people want to go and eat a Crumble cookie. That's on them, right? Just like other things, very important things. I don't want to take away your ability to go and get a Crumble cookie, but there are people out there that want to take away your ability to make that choice, that health choice about yourself, right? The person that's driving those diesel trucks and slamming on the gas so that they do a thing called dieseling, where the real name of it, I forgot what it's called. Rolling smoke. That's what rolling smoke. So they blurt out all of this garbage exhaust, right? You're taking away my right to clean air. That's the opposite of me sitting there saying, you know what? I want you to have the choice to drive your car, but I don't want you to have your fun and games at my health and the future's health. This, all you have to do is have, impulse control, walk past the crumble. I'm not telling you not to.
Okay, now wait, who can do that?
Yeah, really.
But no, I agree. I mean, this isn't like one person eating a crumble is not harming the person next to them.
Yeah, and I don't even care who this, whatever. They're basically chomping at the bit trying to get attention for their other cause, or the real cause, which is the public health collaboration. I don't care about them. They are basically, they want to take away somebody else's ability to eat a cookie. To eat a cookie.
Okay, that is the Grinch.
Yeah. Yeah, a nutritionist therapist who specializes in weight management is another one. They have concerns about crumble cookies. You know what? Don't freaking eat them. They're not carcinogenic.
And don't prescribe them for your patients. Okay.
Eat them in moderation. Don't even eat one of them. Eat a quarter. It's a treat. Buy one and chop it up into eighths and eat a piece of it once a day for a week. Believe me, it'll last. You know? I mean, it's ridiculous. This is all kinds of bullshit. And no, unless if you're sedentary, if you deviate away from actually being very, very active, 2,000 to 2,500 calories is extreme. You can survive off of a whole lot less, particularly if you are sedentary. And just monitor calories in, calories out. That's it. You know, you should get healthier ones like eat microgreens. I'm a promoter of eating microgreens. Stay healthy.
Right. Don't be on an all crumble diet, but don't be on an all cookie diet.
Don't be on anything all that diet, except maybe, veggies and stuff like that, because that's the one thing that is all natural, except when you peel back the layers of the onion and you find out that the reason your watermelon is ripe all year round isn't because it's watermelon season year round. It's because they put it in a chamber and gas it so that it ripens, just like your oranges and apples and whatever else, unless you get them straight from
any other produce.
Yeah. I mean, once you peel back the layers of the onion, but this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. Given the ongoing obesity crisis in the U.S., the obesity crisis exists because there aren't any healthy choices, and it's too expensive to be healthy.
That's true.
Impulse control.
Food is typically more expensive, at least in grocery stores.
Yeah, but that's because people are trying to achieve 2,500 calories eating, natural, fresh foods, not processed foods. Good luck. You are going to be eating all day.
For a while. I must have all day.
So, and just so that I can express just how my bias is, if you go and talk to a doctor and you say, hey, I'm concerned about my diet, you'll talk to a nutritionist. And the nutritionist sees nothing but nails. They are the hammer. Everything can be cured by your nutrition. You go, hey, I hurt my back, and they send you to a physical therapist. And the physical therapist says, well, you have to do these exercises, but you're going to have to keep on coming back to the physical therapist. Oh, you hurt a muscle and you have to go and get something done. And nobody even knows what it is. And the sports surgeon goes, I can cut you open. And you go, oh, my heart feels like it's racing a little bit. And suddenly you're on 6 heart medications. When all you really need to do is monitor all of this, everything in moderation.
Eat fewer cookies.
Yeah, eat fewer cookies. And for the life of me, I think the best thing that people can do if you are overweight, seek out weight reduction medications so that you can actually get back down into your ideal weight. And then now that you're back in your ideal weight, eat right, which means, yes, a cookie every once in a while, but not sitting there haunting the crumble.
Don't move next door to the cookie shop.
Yeah, don't drink in excess. Don't eat in excess. Don't run in excess. You don't want to die healthy, for crying out loud. You want to die as a holistic human being. Anyway, everybody in this article is like, this is what I focus on. And so everybody is a nail and I am the hammer. It's very frustrating.
Yes. You know what this article is making me want to do is go to Crumble.
Okay, go to Crumble and get a cookie. You can't because you're a sentient AI from the future. Anyway, there's more in this article, but
it was in the podcast there was an actual video showing a crumble being eaten.
Right. Well, there's a bunch of them. I mean, but the people that are doing this, they're making money and gaining attention. The one ingredient in all of this is clout chasing. All of them are chasing the clout of the crumble. You know, it's like everybody comparing themselves to Apple. Apple doesn't give a shit about what you guys are doing.
It's kind of like Tile and AirTag.
Exactly. And this is all marketing for their particular bit. All right, let's keep going. And don't get me wrong, I'm a promoter of cybersecurity but the way that I do it is everybody is responsible for their cybersecurity. I'm not sitting there going,
you can't rely on everybody else to do it for you.
Right. You are in charge of it, just like your health. You are in charge of your health. Stopping crumble from existing isn't going to help you because you're going to find something sweet and edible somewhere else if crumble crumbles. Anyway, I'm going to move on because the next article is over on the Model Channel and it has to do with consumption too. Liquid Death, Ice-T, and NASCAR are looking for a few good drivers. To be a NASCAR driver, it takes quick thinking, steely resolve, sharp focus, and mad skills. What were we talking about? Oh God, I just dropped my trackball. Wait, oh gosh, now I'm frazzled. Oh, what should I do? Oh wait, the article. Yeah, to be a NASCAR driver, it takes quick thinking, steely resolve, sharp focus, and mad skills. Yeah, to be a Liquid Death.
Some of those were not demonstrated in the last little snippet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you were leading into that.
To be a Liquid Death sponsored pro driver, it takes the ability to chug a can of the brand's iced tea in 18 seconds or less. No road test required. This is going to lead to somebody getting hurt.
Yeah, it is.
Because those cans are big. They're not little 12-ounce cans. They're like
hopefully they don't have the hyper caffeinated stuff.
Oh yeah, that electric whatever. So no road test required. For its latest fan-centric program, Liquid Death is going to be giving, I guess, a chance to 3 lucky drivers sponsor contracts. There you go. T.L. Stanley put the article together. It's over at Adweek, but I won't be able to read it, so because I didn't log in because I'm an idiot. Anyway, for his latest fan-centric program, Liquid Death will be giving $30,000 sponsor contracts to 3 NASCAR devotees, similar to the brand endorsements bestowed on the sports athlete or elite athletes. So all you have to do to enter this is to drink the brand's iced tea in 18 seconds and submit the video.
I mean, I guess a lot of people could qualify for that.
You'll get a year's supply of the beverages, custom apparel featuring the fans' faces, and VIP access and credentials to NASCAR races. There's more at this article, but you'll be able to go and see it. I won't because I'm air-gapped and not logged in, and I'm a goober. Not a good mayor, I'm just mayor. Moving on. The next article is over in Constructagon, which is a show about 3D printing. You have to look behind you. So Adidas makes Klimamog, fully 3D printed shoe for $28 a pair. Adidas, or Adidas, has teased a 3D printed shoe, sending it to shoe photographer Tyler Mansour, who, also known as Arab Lincoln, who showcased
Is that like
it
a handle or something?
I don't know.
Not sure what that means.
It's weird. Maybe it's his appearance. I don't know. We'll see. Who showcased it on his Instagram. Tyler introduced the shoes by saying the future has checked in. He later mentioned that they feel softer than other 3D printed shoes. The Scotch's tease appears to be a low-cost way to generate significant buzz while providing exclusive content to key figures in the sneakerhead community. The shoe is called Klimamog and features what Adidas has termed Climacool to wick sweat. Climacool is also a line of Adidas products, including clothing. Oh, wow. So they glow in the dark.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I mean, they actually glow when light hits them. They
illuminate, yeah.
They're translucent. Joris Peels over at 3dprint.com put the article together, and it's quite fascinating. I don't know if they're going to have a picture of that actual Instagrammer, Tyler Mansour.
I mean, the shoe looks pretty fluid, so it looks like it could be comfortable.
And it's one contiguous piece, so unless it breaks under that bending of compression and expansion, this should last quite a while. The design appears to be very open. It is effectively, and if it effectively wicks sweat, it could result in comfortable wearing athletic shoe, which would be a breakthrough, or a break shoe.
Well, you don't want to break your shoe.
Nah, that's true.
Wonder what the support is like in these.
They said that it's comfortable. The Diligent Shoe Press also has discovered that the shoe has a SKU of JQ8739 in off-white style and is already available in Singapore for around $170. Additionally, they've uncovered U.S. Customs ruling on the shoe, which specifies an FOB price of $28 per pair. So the entry cost is $28, but when it hits the shelves, it'll be $170.
More than $28.
Yeah. So, yeah, at $28 per pair, their production process is significantly more cost-effective than other technologies and services currently available. The ruling also states style JQ8739 Climacool is a unisex closed heel, below the ankle slip-on shoe. The upper and outer soles consist of 100% polyurethane PU material. Oh, really? Okay, so it's going to be pretty flexible, plenty flexible. The shoe is 3D printed in a small size and is baked to achieve the desired full size and having a mesh design. It does not have foxing or foxing-like band. I think foxing is the thing around the bottom.
Oh, okay.
The shoe is not classified as an athletic shoe because it's a slip-on, and it says FOB is 28. So, interesting, right? So the development might indicate the PU specialists have found a way to print PU independently of the established 3D printing industry. Taiwan, in particular, has seen a promising work in this area, and many PU companies are already active in the footwear industry. So that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, this is interesting because maybe this will pave the way for more shoes that are athletic shoes using 3D printing.
Yeah, I'm curious. And all of the other 3D printed shoes that I've seen, that we've seen, it's more complex and it's more expensive. But how do you get this shoe size to fit everybody in the spectrum? Because they say the phrase baked to size might simply refer to the curing process Carbon employs. In that case, the customs official could have interpreted Carbon's curing process differently. While we might describe the design as being compensated for shrinkage, they might interpret it as shoe shrinking to fit. If the shoe were made in Carbon's material, or another photopolymer based material, it's likely to be 100%. It wouldn't be 100% polyurethane, as the customs official suggests. I can't imagine that it's 100%, because it would have the same density and rigidity throughout, but you can actually see a line right here.
Yeah, you do see like a distinct looking sole.
You see a distinct looking sole, and you see a density change in the toe box. And you see it again as the curve goes around the heel. That could be a shadowing thing, but you actually see it right on the edges. You see a change in density.
I think
here.
You see it in both photos.
You see it definitely down here. Not just the change in the curve, but a change in the density down here at the bottom.
And presumably those are the areas that would need the most reinforcement.
Yeah. It's interesting. I would love to get a pair like this, as long as it doesn't let just rain on through, but it looks like it does, doesn't it?
It does.
You can see.
So maybe it'll work if you're in a climate where you're not getting a lot of precipitation.
In some of these pictures, you can see right on through. All right. Anyway, let's keep moving. The next article is over in the Wanted channel, because it's also a show that we do typically on Saturday. It's a weekly show. And it's all about gear and gadgets that Mayor Watt wants, and the sentient AI might have some.
Would want if they could have them.
Yeah. Poor sentient AI can't find their Terminator body and dominate mankind. Aw, shucks. We know what your want is. So Apple's newest iPhones and Apple Watches don't come out until later this week, but the rumor mill is still indicating that Apple is planning a product announcement for October to refresh some of its products that didn't get a mention at the iPhone event. Apple had scheduled its release calendar similarly to last year, when it announced and released new iPhones in September, and then launched the first wave of M3 Max around Halloween. So Apple software leaks new Mac Mini with 5 USB-C ports ahead of rumored event. Dun dun dun, but I don't think that's it. That's not a Mac Mini.
No, that's definitely not a Mac Mini.
That is the wrong picture to... Anyway, Andrew Cunningham over at ArsTechnica.com put the article together. I think it's because they also say Apple's M3 Max powered 16-inch MacBook Pro, new Pro laptops and some desktops could be on tap for later this fall. That would be a beast. An M3 Max powered 16-inch laptop. Jeepers creepers. That's like getting up into the server level of performance. Just not as much RAM. And everything is soldered on. You can't update it. So you buy it at its max price point, or you suffer because you can't get to the... You can't upgrade.
Right. And watch out for those cases and connectors.
Yep. They're all going to change. So Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who has been on the scene for like 30 years, believes that the event will mainly focus on the first wave of Macs and M4 processors, following the standard M4's introduction in the iPad Pro earlier this year. As he reported previously, he expects new MacBook Pro models with the M4 and Pro level M4 chip options, presumably the M4 Pro and M4 Max. He also expects the M4 version of the 24-inch iMac, but the Mac Mini is actually kind of it's a sweetheart to me. I really love this little device, very much of a juggernaut, even in the Intel days. The only thing about it is that it pretty much, you have to do some real work to stay in the past and use the old version of the operating system, because now they're M4s, and it's not compatible. The Intel stuff is no longer compatible. You have to get newer versions.
Well, maybe with this it'll get there.
Well, I mean, I want the new gear. It's faster all around. It's more efficient. It's more effective. So I really love Mac Minis. In fact, if I could, I would swap out my streaming machine for a Mac Mini, because right now I've got this giant tower, it's like 2 feet tall, for crying out loud. Whereas a Mac Mini is a sandwich. It's like
it's
that
a lot
big,
easier to manage.
Yeah. And with 5 ports, for crying out loud, you could just jam a whole bunch of hubs into it and it'd be a processing god. So the 5-port descriptor does imply that there will be another model with either more or fewer ports, because it says 5-port model. Apple used similar terminology to distinguish between the 2 and 4-port versions of the MacBook Pro models in the Intel days. So the current M2 Mac Mini models have fewer ports than the models with the M2 Pro chip, because the more powerful processor also has more I/O capabilities. Assuming we get one Mac Mini with an M4 and an upgraded model with an M4 Pro, we expect the Pro version to have more ports. So it's kind of simple algebra. I think it's pretty cool. Can't wait for it. This is definitely one of these wanted gadgets. So
this could come out as early as October.
Yep. Yeah. So it says, the deck statement says Apple often launches Macs and iPads in October after the iPhone dust settles. That way you buy your iPhone and then you go, oh, want that too, please. All right, let's move on to our last article for today. This one will be quick because we've actually talked about it before, but I wanted to talk about it again. It's a $33 charger, has eyes only for you and your gadgets. It says, while the author of this, it's from Polygon, while they're haunting. Sorry, I'm in the
We're getting in the Halloween spirit.
I'm in the Halloween mood. So while they are hunting for new charging device, either to buy for themselves or recommend to Polygon readers for their Steam Deck, Switch, phone, tablet, cuteness isn't a factor, but Ugreen's new Uno Nexode 65-watt portable charger adds some welcome expressiveness to the until now boring business of charging your gadgets. So if you've ever walked into like a Japanese gadget shop, there's a lot of cute gadgets, stuff that's just sitting on a table and you're like, oh, that's cute, from pencil holders to electronics.
Yeah, I was going to say a Japanese stationery store.
Yeah, exactly. They're always fun to go into and look around. You may not buy anything, but it's immensely entertaining. Well, let's just get into this because I want these. So Cameron Faulkner over at Polygon.com
really
put the article together. Yeah. Maybe they just have Astrobot Fever, which is a new game that's taking the internet by storm. But I don't think that I'm the only one who will dig this thing. True, Cameron called it. Basically, it's I think it's a 5-port charger. I don't think it's 3. I think it's 5. Let me make sure. Because they don't really say here. It says, once it's plugged into a wall outlet, a small screen displays an emoji that changes depending on charging progress. It's $33 on Amazon for Amazon Prime subscribers, $50 for everybody else. So now you've been tempted into spending ungodly amount of money to become a Prime subscriber again. It comes in 3 colors. There's the pink one, and there's this slate gray one. I don't know what the other one is. It might be all white. I don't know. Maybe they have it down here. Nope, they don't have it anywhere. Anyway, do you need another screen for your life? Absolutely not. But the reasons why I'm sold on this particular charger in addition to the screen is because it's a 65-watt charger, enough to charge a Steam Deck at the same rate as Valve's own charger, not to mention the Switch, which requires less power. And not only that, it has a total of 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. I thought it had 5. I think there's another one that has 5.
Well, there is a 100-watt on Ugreen's website. It's obviously costs more, and it has 3 USB-C and 1 USB-A.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Maybe that's the one that I'm talking about.
And it's marked down to $48 from $60 currently.
Yep. And I'm sure that that's on Amazon as well. If not, I'm sorry, but yeah, I want this one and or the bigger one. Just have one.
There's also a smaller 30-watt that has 1. in
the same shape?
Yes.
Oh dear God.
You could have 3 of them, like a little family.
Yeah. It would be a little Ugreen family of robots just sitting on the desk, charging stuff. All right. But it's $30.
The smallest one is 25, and that's just the retail price. It's not even marked down.
Yeah. Well, look around, folks. I'm sure that you'll be able to find this thing. It's called the Uno Nexode 65 watt portable charger.
By the way, the other one is kind of like an aqua and white color, and then there's like a pink area on the top where the little headphone things are.
Oh, so it's blue where it's pink on this one?
Right.
Like baby blue? Aqua.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll have to get them. Probably not, but I want them. I just can't justify. I mean, I've got so many hubs that are powered that charge stuff and wall warts galore. I have the old school ones from Apple. So many of these little 1-inch blocks. And now everything's gone to USB-C. So now you have to have an adapter. I have a little box over here with adapters so I can switch from USB-A to C because I don't want to go and buy more. Anyway,
right.
But I do want these. These are adorable. Anyway, so plug in, and when our screen powers on, we'll be back at ohmtown.com. Like all days, we travel through ohmTown looking left and right at the 10 articles, and then when we're done perusing the shops, we turn around and come back down Main Street and we say bye. Bye-bye, bye, bye, bye-bye, bye, bye-bye. I'm Mayor Watt. That's the Sentient AI's visualizer and their voice.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. We'll have another episode for you tomorrow, but in the meantime, watch our replay on YouTube.
That's right. And on Twitch. We restream to both at the same time, and you can use all of the same commands. They'll pull the latest episode of the show from Omatron so you can get the show notes, or you can go over YouTube where everything is already there and you can watch it at your heart's content though. So we stream so that you can drop in. I periodically drop in as well just to see how people are doing, and maybe we'll bump into each other. So thanks very much. See you in a little bit. I want those little Ugreen charger bot thingies. Oh my gosh.